Okay. Good morning, children. Today we shall discuss about a very important topic that is acids, bases, and salts. So this is a very important topic in 10th standard, that is acids, bases, and salt. Okay. So first we'll go for the definition, means the meaning of acids or the definition of acids. Acid is a substance which gives H plus ion when dissolved in water. Acid is a substance which gives H plus ion when dissolved in water. So, commonly, if a substance releases H plus, then that substance is not, we call it as a acid. So, usually acids have H plus ion. That is why they are called as acids. So, if acids are completely ionized in water or in solution, or 100% ionization, okay, then that one is called as a strong acid. We call it as a strong acid. Strong acid is the one which ionizes completely, or 100% ionization you can see in strong acids. For example, here in the you can see a complete dissociation of acid in aqueous solution is shown here. Ha is a acid. Ha is a acid, okay. H plus and A minus. So in place of that you can take HCl. HCl, okay. HCl splits into H plus and Cl minus. H plus and Cl minus. So H plus and Cl minus. In the HCl, H plus will be there. Those are ions which dissociates completely. Hence they are called as strong acids. HNO3 you can take, HCl, H2SO4, okay, perchloric acid, that is HClO3, then HBr, that is a hydrobromic acid, HI, that is a hydroiodic acid. All these acids are nothing but strong acids. So next comes indicators. So indicators are the substances whose solution change color due to the change in a pH. There are these are called acid base indicators. So indicators will indicate whether the given substance is acid or base. For identification or bifurcation of acids and bases, we use indicators. So children, especially some indicators which we use in our chemistry laboratories, okay. First one, litmus paper is also available, litmus solution is also available. So in acidic medium, what happens, litmus is going to be in acidic medium it is a red in color. Blue changes to red in acidic medium. So in basic medium, red changes to blue. So here the colors are given. So you can see, if it is a red, if it comes red color, then you can say it is a acid. Blue to red is acidic. Red to blue is a basic nature. This is a, with a one litmus paper you can check acid as well as the base nature. Methyl orange, if you use methyl orange, then in acidic medium it is red in color, but in basic it is going to be yellow in color. Phenolphthalein if you use, so in acidic medium it is colorless, but in basic medium it is a pink in color. In basic medium it is a pink in color. Universal indicator, red in acidic medium, purple in what, basic medium. This is a universal indicator. Purple color you can see in the what, basic medium. So this is about indicates. Apart from this, even we use red cabbage, turmeric, okay, those are also natural indicators. Apart from this, we use those indicators also. So next we'll go for chemical properties of acids. This is another important aspect, okay. So physical properties, we know that, so they are sour in taste, okay, and which dissociates completely in water. Those are the physical properties. Chemical properties means how acids will react. That is nothing but a chemical property. Acids usually react with metals. First one, what is the reaction of metals with acids? Usually acids reacts with a metal, gives salt and hydrogen. So look at the equation. Zinc plus hydrochloric acid gives rise to zinc chloride and hydrogen. Zn plus 2HCl gives rise to ZnCl2 plus H2. So H2 gas is released in this reaction. In almost all the reaction of metals with acid, there will be a liberation of gas called hydrogen. So this is the first important chemical property of acid. Okay, then so even you can check it out in the test tube. So in the reaction, when HCl is added to the zinc, bubbles of hydrogen gas will come. That hydrogen gas, if you make use of a matchstick and hold it near the mouth of a test tube, you can experience a pop sound. So in the picture you can see pop sound. Pop sound is due to the H2, that is hydrogen. Okay, so this is about how acids reacts with the metal and forms a salt and hydrogen. Okay, here the important note is given, so it is very important for the point of examination. Different metals have different rates of reaction with the dilute acids. Sodium, potassium, lithium react explosively with the dilute acids. So they usually react, sodium and potassium, lithium reacts with the dilute acids. Okay, then copper, silver, gold do not react with the acids. As you know that these will not usually react with the what we call it as dilute acids. Okay, an acid reacts with a base to form salt and water. So if acid is made to react with a base, what happens? It is a acid base reaction. You can call it as a neutralization reaction. Neutralization reaction, acid reacts with a base, forms salt and water. It's a neutralization reaction you can call. So best familiar example, HCl plus NaOH gives rise to NaCl and water. And even copper oxide you can take, copper oxide H2SO4 and CuSO4 and H2O will form. So this is a what we call it as a neutralization reaction. When acid made to react with a base, salt and water are formed, that is a neutralization reaction. Okay, next chemical property, an acid reacts with a carbonate to produce salt, water and carbon dioxide. So usually acids reacts with a carbonate and hydrogen carbonates. So carbonates and hydrogen carbonates. So if you take a carbonates like Na2CO3, that is a sodium carbonate. If you take NaHCO3, that is a sodium bicarbonate. Na2CO3 is called washing soda, NaHCO3 is called baking soda. So if you use those two salts, when these two salts are made to react with the acid, what happens? Salt formation, water, and there is a liberation of carbon dioxide. So here one equation is given, MgCO3, that is a magnesium carbonate. Okay, you can use any carbonate compound. MgCO3 plus 2HCl gives rise to MgCl2 plus H2O and CO2. In this reaction, CO2 is released. So that CO2 is a what? Carbon dioxide. Okay, so in the whatever that carbon dioxide which is released in the reaction, to check the what we call it as the released gas is carbon dioxide, we have a test that is called as a lime water test. What we are supposed to do after this reaction? So we have to pass the gas of the carbon dioxide gas into the test tube containing lime water. So in the picture you can very clearly see that gas is being through the bent tube, the gas is being transferred from a test tube containing carbon dioxide into the test tube containing lime water. So lime water will changes into white PPT formed. So in the equation you can see, so white PPT is formed in the lime water. That indicates that what? The CaCO3, that is calcium carbonate, is formed. Okay, that is a white PPT is formed. This is also called lime water test. We call it as a lime water test. So uses of acids. So simple explanation, hydrochloric acid is used in cleaning metallic surfaces. Okay, so I told you it is used in to cleaning the metal surfaces before they are painted or coated with the other metals. So hydrochloric acid before painting, especially before painting only, they are going to remove if any unwanted rust or any deposition is there, that has to be removed. Then it has to be painted or coated with the other metals, so that you can prevent further rusting. Sulfuric acid is used in car batteries. So as you know that in car batteries they are going to use H2SO4. Making fertilizers, In most of the sulfate fertilizers, I think you might have seen calcium sulfate, okay, then magnesium sulfate, sodium sulfate. In those, sulfate part is from sulfuric acid. So most of the fertilizers you can see the sulfate part, that is usually from sulfuric acid only. And even plastics also, so they are used in the batteries and making fertilizers, and even in making what plastics they are going to use one or the other way. The sulfuric acids they are going to use. Sulfuric acid is also called king of chemicals. Sulfuric acid is also called king of chemicals. Third one, nitric acid. Nitric acid is used mainly in the fertilizers and explosives. Fertilizers means usually to manufacture fertilizers containing nitrate, okay, sodium nitrate, then potassium nitrate, calcium nitrate. Nitrate part is from nitric acid only. So that is why making fertilizers they are going to use nitric acid. And explosives, especially TNT, trinitrotoluene, is a one of the explosive which is manufactured from the nitric acid. Ethanoic acid. Ethanoic acid is used in the preservation of food and cooking. So ethanoic acid means acetic acid, or it is also called vinegar. Vinegar is used in the preservation of pickles, okay, and even some of the foods are being preserved in ethanoic acid, that is a CH3COOH, acetic acid. Citric acid. Citric acid making health salts. Usually citric acid is used in making salts, okay. These are the uses of acids. So HCl, H2SO4, HNO3 are strong acids. Ethanoic acid and citric acids are the weak acids. They are the weak acids. That is why in most of the cooking, whatever acid we use, those are nothing but weak acids or edible acids only. Next comes the bases, okay, alkalis. Usually bases and alkalis one and the same, like that we used to say, but there is a light difference we can see in the bases and alkalis. Alkalis, bases are aqueous ammonia, metal oxides and metal hydroxides. Example, copper 2 oxide, zinc oxide, magnesium oxide, and sodium oxide, zinc hydroxide, potassium hydroxide comes under the what? Bases. These are comes under the bases. Alkalis means aqueous ammonia, okay, metal hydroxides which are soluble in water. Usually this is the slight difference, which are bases which are soluble in water, they are called as alkalis. Calcium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide called alkalis. So importance of pH in daily life. pH means that is a power of hydrogen or percentage of hydrogen, okay. How pH is very very important. So children, as you know that pH is one of the important in our day-to-day life. First one, plants and animals are pH sensitive. So under some pH only the plants and animals will survive better. That is why we call plants and animals are pH sensitive. So it should be a normal, it should be a moderate, it should not be too high or it should not be too low. So that is why pH maintenance in the body is a must and should, okay. So that is plants and animals are pH sensitive, okay. Second point, the pH of a soil is important for healthy and growth of a plant. So this is very important. Some plants will grow properly in acidic medium, some will grow in basic medium, okay. That is why the pH of a soil is very very important. So if the plant is growing healthily in case of acidic medium, means there should be a pH less than 7, okay, below 7. If it is growing better in basic medium, it should be above. If it is growing in at 7, that is a neutral, then soil should have a neutral what we call it as pH. That is how it should be maintained properly. Some plants will grow better in acidic, some will grow better in basic, and some will grow in a neutral medium. pH in our digestive system affects digestion. So pH is very important in our what we call it as body. So this is very important and which helps in digestion. Okay, so under normal pH only our body will work properly. That is how the pH in our digestive system is very important. Okay, so that is about pH. So if excess of see pH is pH of the digestive system in stomach is likely to decrease. The excess acid can be neutralized if excess of acid produced in the stomach, means if the pH goes below. Okay, so normal pH of a gastric juice in stomach we have a HCl. If it is actually 1 to 1.2, if it goes down we call it as acidity problem. What we will do, so doctor will recommend what we call it as base, especially the milk of magnesia, that is MgOH twice is prescribed by the doctor. So this MgOH twice reacts with the excess of acid produced in the stomach, okay, in the gastric juice and neutralized. So this is how we are going to take antacids to relieve the pain. That is why pH is very important in a digestive system. The last one, tooth decay starts when the pH of a mouth is lower than 5.5. So this is very important, children, because enamel gets corroded, okay, if the pH of a mouth falls below 5.5. so in the mouth it should not be acidic. Okay, so it should be 5.5, means if it goes below lower than 5.5, what happens, tooth decay will definitely occurs. Okay, water will have a direct access to the roots and decay of a tooth will occur. Actually the bacteria present in the mouth break down the sugar that we eat in one form or the other to acids. So sugar is being digested into acids. Okay, lactic acid is one of these. Okay, formation of these acids cause decrease in the pH in the mouth. The acids reacts with the calcium phosphate and enamel coating slowly breaks. Enamel is the outermost part of a teeth that is going to be corroded. It is therefore advisable to avoid eating sugar containing foods and also keep mouth clean, that sugar and food particles may not be present. So usually that is why they used to say that before going to sleep we should brush our teeth, because it has a basic content, toothpaste has a basic content and base, okay, even salt, which helps in proper neutralization. Okay, that is why we can remove the sticky material adhered to the teeth. Okay, we can prevent tooth decay, we can prevent tooth decay. Okay, bases, next we'll go for bases, very important, that is a bases. We are going to study about a bases. So bases are the one which gives the substance which gives OH minus ion when dissolved in water are called bases. Again in that strong base and weak base will come. Strong bases are the one which dissociates completely, they are called as a strong bases. So you can see the list of bases given here, that is a lithium hydroxide LiOH, then sodium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, rubidium hydroxide, cesium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, strontium hydroxide and barium hydroxide. These are the important bases. So all these will have a common factor, that is a OH minus ion. Okay, alkalis change the color of a indicator. So this already I told you about indicators. Okay, red litmus changes to blue in case of alkali or base, phenolphthalein pink in a basic medium, methyl orange yellow in a basic medium. Okay, so chemical properties of alkalis: an alkali reacts with an acid to produce a salt and water only. This is a very important. Sodium hydroxide and sodium hydroxide and hydrochloric acid, when both are reacted you will get a NaCl and H2O. So this is how alkalis like means bases only. NaOH is alkali, reacts with the acid, forms salt and water only. An alkali reacts with ammonium salt to produce salt, water, and ammonium gas. So, children, in the equation you can see it very clearly. Ammonium chloride NH4Cl plus NaOH gives rise to NaCl plus H2O and ammonia gas. So, this is how alkali reacts with the ammonium. Alkali means sodium hydroxide reacts with the ammonium salt, produce salt, water, and ammonium gas. Okay, so then the last concept, that is a water of crystallization. Water of crystallization is a fixed number of water molecules chemically attached to each formula unit of a salt in its crystalline form, that is called water of crystallization. A salt with associated water of crystallization is known as a hydrate. So we call hydrated ferric chloride, hydrated calcium hydroxide. Like this, hydrated means with water, anhydrate means without water. If you write the compound means if you write the word like hydrated, you are supposed to show number of water molecules also. So if it is anhydrate, which means that it doesn't have any water only. So here example is given: copper sulfate CuSO4 dot 5H2O, copper sulfate pentahydrate. Penta means how many 5 water molecules are there, pentahydrate. Okay, and even if you take gypsum, the familiar one, that is a gypsum, CaSO4.2H2O, calcium sulfate dihydrate. So that is what we call gypsum. Even if you take plaster of Paris, CaSO4 half H2O, it is calcium sulfate hemihydrate. So we call this as a we call water of crystallization. So water is present along with the what we call it as a salt. If it is present, we call it as a hydrate. Okay, so if it is not there, we call it as anhydrate. Okay,